fire with semi-automatic weapons in November, killing 89 of their fans. Before the concert at the Olympia Theatre, members of the band met fans outside on what is sure to be an emotional evening as they play in front of an audience of hundreds of survivors of the attacks. Well, the lead singer and guitarist Jesse Hughes says going back to Paris will help the band come to terms with what happened.
Facing your demons is empowering. The bravest thing I think I've ever seen anyone do is get into a train and go alone to a rock show after they've been through what they've been through. I just want to hug them. They're my friends. They're not just rock and roll fans. These are my friends. We all love rock and roll. Rock and roll has saved all of our lives in some respect. A part of my heart is broken. But tonight is going to help repair that.
Well, our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson is in Paris for us tonight.
Every survivor of the Bataclan gig has been invited tonight. They were sent tickets individually, invited to come, and they were also allowed into the venue 2 hours earlier than the rest of the concert goers. Now, there was a few reasons for this. The band appreciated that many of those people would not have been to a rock gig since the 13th of November, that night at the Bataclan. They wanted to give them time to just acquaint themselves with the venue. They were also providing psychologists inside the venue to help them in case they wanted to talk about those events of the night. So very, very unlike any music concert I've ever been to before. One with psychologists inside, and as you'll see outside, a lot more of a police presence than usual. Rows of police vans and a lot of armoured police as well outside the venue.
Yes, clearly a heavy police presence outside the concert hall there. Has there been any reaction to the suggestion from one of the members of the band that everyone should be armed?
This is Jesse Hughes, the frontman of Eagles of Death Metal. In an interview he gave on French television yesterday, he said that he believed that people should have the right to bear arms and suggested that the Bataclan disaster would not have happened to the same extent if people were allowed to bear guns. Quite a lot of surprise, not backed up by all the fans here. But that interview he also went on to just say how he believes tonight is so important to help people get over that night. He says himself he still thinks about it absolutely every day. And tonight he described tonight as a continuation of that same gig. He said that they were always going to come back and do it. And one other interesting thing that he said is the fact the Bataclan has still not reopened. He says when it does, they will go back and play that specific venue. Hopefully they will reopen by the end of the year, and they say they will appear on that stage.
Colin Patterson there in Paris. Inflation measured by the Consumer Price Index